Okay, here we are in 301 Print Lab, and I'm using the printer in the corner because the printer over there has an error on it. Hopefully the technicians will be coming in tomorrow to fix that, and hopefully you won't have to deal with that whenever you come in. Okay, so I made sure that this printer was loaded with 12 by 18 paper. So we're gonna tile a poster now. So I'm gonna go to File, Print, and make sure that we got the printer selected. Make sure in setups you're 12 by 18, that you are portrait mode, that you have tiling selected, auto, and 1 inch. Marks and bleeds, make sure your crop marks are on. Make sure that you're using your document bleeds. And then page setup. You've selected the printer, it's 12 by 18. And then in the printer settings, make sure that you have two-sided turned off. And then hit print. As we can see here, it's going to print out 4 pieces of paper. Okay, so here are my 4 pieces of paper. And you can see that all of them, in the inside corners, there's 2 crop marks going 2 different ways. And in the outer corners, there's just 1. I've offset these sheets a little bit, but you see how they're going to line up. Okay, so we need to mock it up first. We need to pick which pages are going to be on top and which pages are going to be on bottom, and we tape them together. So I'm going to set it up like this. Bottommost piece is this page right here, bottom right. And then on top of that, I have this sheet. See, it's on top of it. And then on top of that, I have this sheet and this sheet. So these top 2 sheets, we're going to cut along this middle crop line. And we won't need to cut this sheet at all. No cuts on this sheet except for the outer border. So no cuts on this sheet. Then we'll need to cut this edge off of this sheet, the right edge. This sheet will need to cut the bottom edge. And then this sheet will need to cut the right and the bottom. Now, so we cut down that middle line, so we only have 1 crop mark. So, line it up. Right on the line. on this inside piece, I'm going to tape it here at the top. Remember, this part's going to be covered up. And then here at the bottom, and this part is going to be trimmed off. And then I'm going to flip it over. And get a piece of tape. And a continuous piece of tape. So you might layer, I just arbitrarily picked this one as going to be the one I don't cut, but you might strategically pick where, based on what you're going to be what's going to be cut up on the poster, like this O is divided, you might strategically pick where you do that on the poster. So now, for this last piece that's going to have 2 cuts on it, I'm going to have to be a little more careful about my cuts and not go all the way through so I can utilize these crop marks. Again, on middles. There we go. Now we can cut all the way through. Now that we've got both our cuts. The light board would probably also be helpful for this, which the light board is that white table over there. Shine light through and you can very easily line up the crops. All right, so we've got our 2 pieces, trimmed out this bottom. Now I'm going to line it up here, making sure that my type aligns, or whatever imagery I have on here. So there we go, that's pretty good. I'm going to tape right here where it's going to be covered up. And then over here, we're going to trim it off. Now I'm going to very carefully flip it over. Big piece of tape, just I'm not stretching it, I'm just placing it down. There we go. So we can see that our posters come together. Our mock-up poster. It's titled. Okay, so our last piece, it should align just right. We're going to line it at the top, line it here on the middle, and shift it over, tape it. Tape it at the top. There we go. We're going to flip it over. Okay. Fold these over. And I'm going to put a little piece of tape here. I'm going to flip it over there to just double check that everything's aligned again, because I had a lot of shifting around. Okay, we look good. So I'm going to tape these last two edges, one piece of tape, not stretching it really hard so that we don't get the paper to bow. Okay. Okay, here we are. We've got it mocked up. But what you would do next is find the crop marks, trim it out. You could also use double-sided tape if you were wanting to do an impressive mock-up. But the way I designed this is I try to reduce the amount of tape that's on the surface that will interrupt my design. So I might not even really want to do this tape here. Okay, so just like always, don't go beyond the edge so that you can use all your crop marks. In this case, I'm going to do the shorter edges opposite of each other first. Go. Yes. Cut over here. And cut over here. Looks like we didn't quite go all the way through our tape. Yep. All right, now for this longer edge, it's going to be a little more challenging. Grab the longer straight edge. Line it up here. Looks like it didn't get all the way through the tape. So come along with a smaller straight edge. And all right. And all right, and one more cut. I'm going to press more firmly. There we go. You see what I've done here? It's a lot of paper. I've done this tiling process dozens of times, but it's been a few years since I've had to do it, and I forgot a few things. This is how many tries I gave it. Okay. So hopefully yours will be a little less because you had the benefit of watching my video, but also don't expect to come into the class and print off once and being able to tile, not make any mistakes. I don't want to see you in here at 1 o'clock printing before class. So prepare ahead of time, give yourself plenty of time to print off and cut it together, tape it. It's probably going to take you a try or two. Maybe not this many tree killing times, but it's going to take you a while.